What is up, guys? Today I'm going to teach you how to not strip pocket knife screws. I'm going to teach you how to fix them if you do, and I'm going to tell you why we're talking about this in the first place. So let's dive into it. First things first, how not to strip your pocket knife screws. So we make a knife called the Lander, and it has pocket knife screws that we have told you to disassemble. So the scale swap on this thing. So I'm basically encouraging you to take this thing apart. So to avoid stripping the screws out, what you're gonna do is take your knife in your non-dominant hand, just like this. You're gonna hold it like this, make sure it's closed, make sure it's safe. Then you're gonna take Torx bits. Now, the bits you use are very, very important. We only sell WeHob bits on our website because WeHob bits are the very best. This is a T6, and if your bits start to get a little stripped, you need to replace them because stripped out bits, stripped out screws. So take it in your left hand, non-dominant hand for me, and you're going to insert your Torx driver, and then you're going to put pressure on it. Now, a lot of people strip their screws out because they've got the wrong pressure. So if your driver is canted, you're not going to be putting the right downward pressure into that screw to get it undone. So sometimes you'll encounter a stubborn screw. To get that thing out, you've got to really, almost like one of those clapping monkey things, you put the pressure on both sides of that, coming from your left and your right hand, and then you push in and turn. Now, there will be times when you're breaking the Loctite in that screw, and you'll actually feel it. There will be a lot of resistance, and then as you downward pressure on that thing and then twist it lefty-loosey, it will break, and you'll actually hear like a snap as that Loctite breaks. Now, the trick is if you feel it not going with the flow, you may need to hit it with heat. So I recommend just a regular hairdryer, just like that. Regular hairdryer, hit the screw after you hit your hair, of course. Hit the screw with some heat, so you can use a heat gun. I prefer hairdryer, and then come back and do that downward pressure with the Torx driver again, and basically try to get that screw to remove. You may have to go back to the heat a couple times, but the big thing is don't force it. If you're trying to force a screw out, you're gonna strip the thing. Give it that nice downward pressure. Sometimes I found myself like forcing it like sideways into it and then turning. And that's one of the big tricks. So that is how you avoid stripping screws. Number one is your bits. Number two is the pressure that you're putting into that screw head. Now, if you have stripped bits, let's get into that part of it. Stripped bits, stripped screws is what I meant to say there, but you get the idea. If your screws are stripped already, here is the trick. So this is actually from a customer, and his name is Junwan. Junwan sent me this. He said, "Sorry that I stripped the screws. This is my first time ever disassembling a knife," which I am stoked about because I want people to be able to disassemble their knives. I bought the Lander and I used a mini electric screwdriver. Ouch, I guess I pressed way too hard to get the screws out. So this is his knife, and I have played with it prior to this, but I wanted to show you the screws came stripped. What I did is I took that pressure and I was able to get, did you hear that? That is the blue Loctite breaking. I think that electric screwdriver I used, no go on that thing. These screws will come right out. So the first thing is if you have stripped screws, make sure you've got a new bit and you're applying that downward pressure. And a lot of times they will come out no problem. So this was from a guy who thought he had stripped all his screws out. There's another one on here. And literally just giving it the right pressure made those screws come undone. So that is the first thing you need to do. If you think you have stripped screws, just make for darn sure. Now, if you know they're stripped, so take this guy for instance. I actually stripped that with a drill. If you know for sure it is stripped and there's no way to get it out with a Torx tool. So this is a T6 in here. If I put that downward pressure on there, it is not coming, that's just spinning. This is where it gets interesting and you're gonna need some tools. Let's get into it. So what you need is you need a 1/16 inch drill bit. You need a #1 screw extractor and a drill. We sell these for about $5 on our website. And the way you're gonna do this is you've got a stripped screw, so you're going to drill out that screw. So take your 1/16 inch drill bit and you're gonna go after this screw for a second. Now what you're doing is you're creating a hole for the screw extractor to go into, and once that hole is there, the screw extractor can go in and help you torque it out. So I'm gonna go clockwise on this thing and drill into this screw. I'm gonna go kind of deep, not crazy deep, just to give that screw extractor enough meat on the head of the screw to bite into. If you have a drill press, do this on a drill press. Not today though, we're doing a drill.
One eternity later.
Okay. Once you're in there kind of deep, you're going to take your drill bit extractor, your screw extractor, put it on your drill. And then you're gonna go counterclockwise with the screw extractor. And you want it to bite into the sides of that screw. Once it bites, it will come right on out. If you're struggling with it, my recommendation is take your drill bit and go deeper into that screw so that it goes down, and then it gives the screw extractor more bite inside of that head to be able to go counterclockwise and pull it out. That is how you use those two little tools. I hope this has been super helpful. Now, let's talk about why this might happen. Number one, I think there is a little bit of user understanding that you have to take these screws slow. However, when I designed the lander, I put T6 screws on the scales. I think that was an oversight on my part. I think they probably should have been T8s, because T8s, it's a bigger head on the bit and it allows it to chomp more into the head of the screw. So hindsight, probably should have done that. The other part of this is we put blue Loctite on these screws at the factory. We have our OEM partner do that. And what happens is, if you've never done this before, sometimes that Loctite can be on there pretty darn good. It's blue, so it's medium strength. It does come undone, but the fact that we're telling you to do it, and it's T6, and it has Loctite on it, sometimes these things can be a bit of a bugger to get off of there. So I need you, when you're disassembling your lander, to take the time, don't rush it, don't force it, and then if you're having trouble, hit it with heat first. Try all these tricks, and if you need one of these screw extractors, we sell them for cheap on our website. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. My goal is to make this stuff as easy as possible. Now, there are things that we're trying to get better at, but I also, part of the lander is helping you to own your tool and understand how to do it. So thanks for watching. Have an excellent day. Let's do this again.